Welcome to That's Not Why You Called, episode 29. Nine? Should I say that? Wow. Episode 29?
Let's calm down with the rally, okay? Just started.
Does that seem... Is that a little bit too close to home? Bit. Welcome to That's Not Why You Called, episode 29. Hello, chat and Twitch. And hello, YouTube. Hello to everybody. We are here again. I am your host, Lefty, and across the way is Chiz. We started off the show facing away from each other because we are in a fight, Chiz and I. We are in disagreement over who fangirls more over bigger / YouTubers / Twitch streamers.
This will be a fun conversation then.
Why?
I didn't know we were going to do a conversation on it.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay. I thought about it the minute I saw you cream your pants on Twitter about getting mod in oh, God, what's his name? I forget his name.
Ray from Achievement Hunter, a.k.a. Rooster Teeth Brown Man on Twitter. Here's how bad I am. They're the only group of people that I can't, like, lower my shit down and just because I can kind of, like I was in the stream chat, and start fanboying. They're so bad. I've gone to so many PAXs, conventions, and whatnot. They have a booth there all the time. I've never once walked up there, said anything, bought anything, done any of that. I have, however, walked on the hall, looked at the booth, and went, God, they're awesome. And I'm just too scared to go there. I've been in areas their booth isn't at, like an Xbox One, and I'll see two of them walking right by me, and I'll go, I should say something. No, I shouldn't. I'll say something stupid. That's how bad it is. I had an exhibitor badge. I was working one of the cons, so it's not open to anyone after a certain time, so it's just people that work there. So I was walking around, found their booth, tweeted out a picture of their booth with no one there, and said, you guys are awesome, or something. I said something like, you guys are so cool. Wish I could see you, but I'm too busy working. And tweeted it out. No one there, just their booth with their shit. That's how bad it is. And the fact that he knows who I am is incredible.
That is pretty cool. That and he said that you were his inspiration for streaming. How'd that come about?
He would tweet out things like he was playing or he wanted to do this, and I was like, you should stream it. I think it'd be good if you would stream it. And I tweeted him a couple times, went back and forth on some things. Like I asked, like, do you like the extinction mode, I think it is, in Ghost compared to zombies? And there was a little convo. So I guess that, and then I just try to help people with streaming and stuff. So I guess that's how he knows me. I was shocked because that wasn't the first time he said who I knew. He knew who I was. It was when he first streamed. He's like, shout out to Dr. Jez, know who you are. Yep, streaming guy. He also streams, which means he knows that I have a channel and I stream.
Cool.
Which was fucking incredible. And then he modded me.
That's cool.
Fanboy.
Yeah,
and just them.
There was an instant fangasm on Twitter, so I immediately went to talk to Chiz, and I was like, "You accused me, like you give me shit for fangirling about Eat My Diction and that whole crew when you can't even contain yourself on Twitter when one of the Rooster Teeth guys references you directly." And I said, "That's it, we're fighting because it's bullshit."
Yep, I lost my shit.
Even though I went into Eat My Diction stream, and apparently he knows me of me somehow as well, and he was like, "Oh, that's Lefty. Let me give you mod." And now I'm a mod now, so I can ban people in Diction streams. So behave yourselves, motherfuckers.
I think until you're physically avoiding the people you're fans of, I think I'm gonna take this one from you. It's really bad.
I think that's one I'll let you win. I think that's one that I'm okay with letting you win. I don't want to
fuck anything up. I love them, like not to the creepy like I want to fuck them kind of thing, but I respect them so much. Their content always funny, and I like everything. They're a 40-person company.
Everything they touch turns to gold too.
Yeah, and there's like they have, their Let's Plays are hilarious. They have series like an animated one like Ruby. They have Red vs. Blue. Their podcast, I love their podcast. It's funny. I watch it every week. There's a reason they're the #1 in gaming on iTunes and have won awards because it's fucking good. Mm-hmm. All of it.
We're still coming for them though.
We're still coming for them. They're getting out of the gaming category. So
they are.
They're going to general on iTunes.
That's probably a smart move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been in gaming top 1 since they've started, which is like 4 years or 5 years of podcasting or something like that. Like they're at episode 200, ridiculous, 260 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been doing it a while. So now that they're going to general, where it's going to be a little harder for them to get #1, we're coming for you, and we're going for gaming.
We're going for gaming. Well, I mean, we're not really because we don't have the money to pay for the the bandwidth to host a podcast and then point iTunes at it, because it does get kind of pricey. What is it like?
Storage.
What is it like? $100 a month for unlimited bandwidth?
Something like that. But even if we wanted to I mean, they don't give you a lot. And if you even do just a weekly podcast, opposed to like some people who do like 2 to 3, or some people who even do daily podcasts for like an hour, there's not a lot of bandwidth most of the regular hosting providers give you to point your shit to iTunes. Which is probably why there's not as many. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts on iTunes, but there's a lot of podcasts, period.
Right. Well, when Hutch was part of the show, because there's no secret that the show did a lot better view-wise and viewer-wise when Hutch was Hutch was pulling the train in terms of viewer base, in terms of people that he can direct to a show. Right? That's
first, yeah.
But I mean, that's just the thing. He has more followers on Twitter than I do on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube, and then probably both of us combined on YouTube, right? So I mean, it's no doubt, and there's no shame in it. It is the way it is, and that's not why you call it was rocking and rolling. We were doing about 25,000 views an episode, and that's not counting live stream viewers, and so that was when we could. At that point, we could seriously, if we could sustain that and grow on it, we would have been in a position to seriously consider buying enough bandwidth on a server somewhere or whatever
we looked at it.
Provider, to host the show and then have it on iTunes. Because not only do you have to pay for the spot for the storage space, you have to pay for the bandwidth to that storage space for your show. Clicks. So it's a little bit counterintuitive, but the more popular your show is, the more expensive it is to put it on iTunes.
Right.
And so, we were about where we were when we first started That's Not Why You Called and moved away from the Lefty Show. If we could have sustained that, it would be on iTunes. But now we gotta continue going, and we're growing.
We're growing.
I'm almost at 100K subs, so that's cool. Can't wait for that. But
show gets good views on YouTube.
It does, and it monetizes very well apparently.
Well, that's fucking awesome. So maybe one day we will venture into that category. 2015 will take everyone on.
2015, the show will be in its 4th year, right? Technically 4th year. Yeah,
technically yeah.
4th year. 2015. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll rebrand the show with Mickey Mouse, because then eventually Mickey Mouse will be in the public domain. But yeah, I'd have Diction on the show. Probably, you see, again, like, what do we do with guests? I don't know. Like, Diction's a funny guy, a really funny guy, but, I mean, does he want to talk about some of the things that we talk about? I mean, does he even want to, right? That would kind of be like, Diction, what are your thoughts on minimum wage? Input now.
True.
And then just put him on the spot, like, because I think that's why some of the PKA guests get a bad rap.
That's also why I wouldn't bring someone like Ray on for this, because he's hilarious and he's fun and a cool dude. But those aren't his, I wouldn't say strong points, but he probably wouldn't want to engage in that kind of a conversation. But other people on the Rooster Teeth podcast, they talk about any topic under the sun and things that are current, so they would be good as well. Diction, I don't know. He doesn't really get into that kind of content in his streams or his YouTube or his Twitter.
No.
It's usually just comedy. There's nothing wrong with that. Just that's not
we
wouldn't interview Jessica Negri either, or have her on either. She's a cosplayer. It's just different groups of people.
But I mean, have him on for a short bit to talk about gaming stuff or games we're excited about, talk about movies.
Yep, movies.
But an entire show. I mean, you guys would talk about movies. You guys are more big movie buffs than
I saw Escape Plan. That is the most recent movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stone.
Real? Why did you see that?
It wasn't that bad. It was maybe a C movie or B movie. Wait, I say not that bad. You have to, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
For a Sly movie, it's a B? For a Sly movie, it's a B?
It's a B. It's better than The Expendables, which is just over-the-top ridiculous. That's a fuck-up movie.
Right, but it's supposed to be that way, isn't it? That's the whole idea behind it. Like, it's just a stupid popcorn.
It's not that bad. It's pretty good. I liked it. Oh, they also had.
I still don't get. I saw in the preview when they show Sly Stallone in prison. It's like, what do you do? And Sly's like, I bring out of prisons for a living.
Bring out of prisons. That's what he does. He's a security company. He owns like the best security. He's written the manual like that everyone knows about keeping your prisons like breakout proof. So he goes in as a prison inmate, and they don't know, and then he figures out a way to break it to show the security flaws and whatnot. And the thing is, this is some super CIA, like, Guantanamo type place, and he's recruited to go there, and it turns out they want to actually keep him there so that way it shows, hey, our prison can't be broken out of, keep funding us. And then he still breaks out of prison with the help of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice. We should go see that. Speaking of a Guantanamo-like thing.
Spoiler alert.
Speaking of a Guantanamo thing, President Barack Obama in his State of the Union address, which was this week, talked about closing Guantanamo Bay.
Again.
And I
had to put that there because it's not the first time he's brought it up.
We talked about this before, Barack B-man. We had this discussion. That whole 2008 change.
It was the biggest thing. It was one of the bigger things on your campaign was closing Guantanamo and getting us out of 2 wars.
Right. Like this is going to happen. First day in office, I'm going to get in and I'm going to nitty-gritty close Guantanamo. All these horrible things are going to go away. Here we are, the State of the Union, going into your second term, and it's
6 years.
And it's like, we should probably close that. Duh. What?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something, but he's the commander-in-chief. He is the supreme allied command, or command authority, whatever. Well, no, yeah, he is allied command, but he is the command authority of the military. And
correct.
Guantanamo Bay is a military installation, is it not? And it's a military prison.
Yep.
So could not the commander-in-chief, does he not have he doesn't have to go to Congress, he doesn't have to do anything. He could say, this is closed right now.
Right. But then what do you do with all those inmates?
Again, but that's another problem. That's a separate issue. The whole, we should close this. No, we don't do it. No, you have the power and the authority to call up somebody and say, this is closed, effective immediately. Bye. Click. And you haven't done it. So why? And people clapped. And people were like, yay!
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. It's like, he said this 6 years ago, and he's had 6 years to do it.
And he hasn't done it. He's like,
but maybe he actually will. It's second-term politics bullshit. No one ever does what they say they are in the first term. But if you get the second term, you do whatever you want. You're not gonna get fucking voted next term.
I know. It's just that's.
For all we know, he could close it, legalize pot on a federal level, and raise the minimum wage to $1,000.
That's just a. But doesn't that offend anybody else that you're getting lied to the first time around, but you have to vote for a candidate again in the hopes that the second time around there will be just a little bit less bullshit and more action? Is that not offensive to anybody else?
Yeah, but that's just how the system works. Because if you do anything drastic in your first term, you're gone. First one.
Well, no, if you do something drastic and you fail, you're gone.
Fail is relative, though. Like if it was his Obama bill, he probably wouldn't have won the next term. Like if that went through, because successful to a lot of people, but also not a lot of people. Pretty much everyone in the South and most capitalists and things like that, they would have voted him in. Well, I think most of the people didn't vote for him anyway, but the margins would have been more. I mean, that was a pretty close race, that second-term election, for a while there at least.
I don't know. It's just, it's disheartening that is like, uh-oh, is the stream down?
No.
It might be for me. It says that I am not streaming, like, at all. Oh, now we're back.
Now we're back? I typed something. I don't know if that matters.
Oh, I don't know.
Want to just blame Obama?
I do want to blame it on Obama. I want to blame everything on Obama.
All right, fuck you, Obama.
But it appears to have stabilized again. I don't know.
Suck it, Obama. Go ahead, take this, do us a favor, upload it on the NSA server so we don't have to pay for that kind of bandwidth on iTunes.
Right? Coming to you live from the NSA, and then we could say that every single week.
Yeah, we'd be sponsored
That's
by the
how
NSA.
I called.
Free hosting, whatever. I'll sell out. We'll be the number one NSA
but then not disclose it to
podcast.
anybody. No, you'll sell out, but then you don't tell anybody about.
If the NSA is already breaking things on a federal level, it really doesn't matter if we don't tell people we're sponsored by them. We've already broken one federal law.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and break them all. I'm gonna do Coke.
There you go.
Sponsored by Coke.
I got a contact from EA about as an update to the whole YouTube sellout thing that we talked about last week. I got contacted by EA, as did I believe every partner or everybody that's a part of their little Ronku program.
The thing you did for Battlefield last time.
Yeah. And they sent out an email saying, please make sure we would like to request that you go through your videos to make sure any video that you've done in conjunction with EA in this program are in accordance with FTC guidelines. So all this outrage at people actually caused an email to be sent from EA. EA wasn't named, I don't think.
Oh, they weren't one of the. There was a thing though that I saw. I don't know if you saw the video. It was by. All right, Machinima has a series with Adam Kovic on it. It's like one of their main. I think it's the most hit series they have, or whatever. It's like a news thing, and they were like, we're not biased at all. We'll talk about the most recent Machinima thing, and they talked about it, and it was very biased. And then they went on to say, it's not just Machinima that's done this. EA has done this deal with people for Battlefield and stuff like that. They failed to put in there though that, hey, Battlefield didn't say don't disclose this information from your audience and go against FTC guidelines. And they were like, it's not a big deal. Every company has sponsors. Right. But in the Machinima contract, it said do not divulge this information to your audience.
That's the problem.
What is different. That is the problem.
The problem is that you're telling the people that are taking part in this that they can't disclose to their viewers. And I usually try to do a very good job. I try. I don't know. Maybe I forget sometimes. But in sponsored videos, I just say this video brought to you by blah, blah, blah. And that covers it. And that's it. That's all I need to say. But even in the EA stuff, there's a link at the top of every description to the EA website, which I think is a reasonable attempt at saying, hey, guess who's footing the bills?
Right.
Here's EA's official website.
Sometimes people don't go outright and say I was sponsored by this or that. They kind of heavily imply it, but usually I'll just look at the description and go, you can check out this or get a referral from this. I'm like, okay, there's a deal going on. Nothing's hidden.
No, so
not a big deal.
So all this outrage actually spurned an internal response from EA, and I wrote back, and I was actually kind of like miffed about it. Because they added it as a tagline at the end. They were like, we request that, if you do not respond to this request within 30 days, we will ask you to take videos down.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, nah.
Lefty.
That's
Do you
not...
think someone's really going to go through everyone who did that video and go, he did not say, as a pre-roll, sponsored by, endorsed by. No one's going to do that.
No, it's like I had to tell. I responded and I said, yeah, all my videos are in compliance with the FTC. This is my norm. I said, but you do not have please don't go thinking that you have this kind of authority over me now that I've done this. So even in their response, EA was kind of heavy-handed about really make sure that you're doing all this.
Well, they were covering their asses because someone else in the playground threw sand.
Yep, because
and you
know what, it is Machinima because Microsoft probably said and when Microsoft said we're not really aware of what the specific language of the contract is, that's probably very close to true.
Yeah.
What does Microsoft say? They just write the check. They say, go away.
They write a contract with Machinima, and then Machinima does their own contract for the YouTubers because everyone gets a different CPM in this rate. Machinima's getting some of that money for the Microsoft deal as well. So everyone has their own contracts. So no one's to blame here but Machinima for putting that clause in there.
Yep.
And that's not good. And apparently a game on my Steam wish list is on sale.
What game?
I don't know. Let's check. Live check. Look on my phone. Probably nothing I care about. That wish list is outdated, and a lot of those things have been on sale, and I never purchased them. So I'll just open up my mail thing here in a minute, and we'll look at this live.
Oh well, I do have an entry now. You just made me realize I have an entry into the fanboy category. I bought on a whim yesterday the game Strike Vector.
Because you wanted to play with you, my addiction.
And I did.
That wouldn't be the first time I bought a game to just play with someone.
But I have it. It's actually kind of a fun game. Actually, it's pretty good.
I'm totally not paying attention to things. What is that? I've never heard of it until I saw a tweet yesterday by them.
Strike Vector is how is this put? It's like a multiplayer like mech battle assault game. Although you're always flying. It's not like a ground mech battle like Mech Assault Warrior or anything like that. But you build this ship, and there's different game modes and on a few separate maps, and then everybody just flies around and you try to kill other people flying around. But it's pretty fun and fast paced, and you just go around.
Didn't a mech game come out maybe a year ago, I think, that all the YouTubers were backing, and that was kind of like an endorsement type deal? It was like, started with an H or an M. It was because I played it, too. I got a free code.
It wasn't Tom Clancy's Hawks.
No.
It was...
started with an H, I swear.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Right, and then people played it. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a mech game.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like,
It was like, meh.
Yeah.
I'll wait for Titanfall. That's going to have mechs in it.
Yep. Titanfall beta coming out soon. Yay.
Yeah, well, who's that open to?
I think everybody.
Oh, okay, then. I hope it's on
EA has had a good... They do a lot of open betas now. I think Battlefield...
Battlefield 4?
Yeah, Battlefield 4 was open beta.
Was it, or was it open beta if you owned Battlefield 3?
No. It was a wide open beta.
Hawken, thank you.
Hawken, yes.
That was it.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. I see Hockey for Life 74, DJ Digit 23464.
You all have better memories than us.
Yes, that was it, Hawken. Yeah, so I was right in thinking it was close to Tom Clancy's Hawks.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But
I think Tom Clancy's Hawks might have been one of those microphone-based games.
No, it was like some flying game.
No. Okay, that.
The
Clancy, that was the game on sale. It was Chaos Theories.
Oh.
Which is for $249. I wanted that to do a video, I think, and it's a co-op Splinter Cell game. Super old, though.
Yeah, but that's a original Xbox title, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. It's really old.
But no. The Battlefield 4 beta was you get exclusive beta access. You had a weekend of exclusive beta access if you were a Battlefield 3 premium member. And then it opened up. Then it opened wide up, and everybody got in. So I think the Titanfall beta, it rumored it's going to happen on Valentine's Day, which, wow, way to dick over a whole lot of girlfriends or boyfriends, but probably.
Well, they're giving props to the single people out there.
Yeah, right? Like, you have nothing to do today. Here's this.
Have our beta.
Yeah. But it should be fun. Hey, do you think that this is that Titanfall is getting a lot of hype for not having done really anything?
I'm not even that hyped for it. And I think, I'd have maybe more hype if it was also on PlayStation 3 and PS4, because I feel like it's going to go the route of like a Halo. It's going to be hot for about a month, maybe two, and then it's going to die. I don't see it being picked up in the pro circuits anywhere, though a lot of people are hoping it will, just because it's not cross-platform. If you're killing half the audience and viewership that you can sell it to when you do that. I don't know why they're doing that. I guess Microsoft paid a lot for that exclusivity because they figured it was going to be a hit, but in doing, like Call of Duty, but in doing so, it may not be a hit because of that, I don't know. I'm not that excited for it. I kind of hope it isn't super awesome, because then I'd like to keep just playing whatever the fuck I want to play. I don't want to just pertain to Titanfall videos and stuff like that. Not that I'm posting anyway, but that's an example.
Well, yeah, but I think I would get sucked into only posting Titanfall.
Yeah, we don't want to go back down that road.
Back down the Call of Duty road.
It's a fucking treacherous road.
That was like being a Call of Duty only channel. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how anybody does it.
You think about it, like back in the day, I would do a video a day. I apologize for that. And it was like I would have so much to talk about. I have a commentary every day. It would usually be topical or just get a thought and talk. It's like I couldn't do that nowadays. I don't think. I've talked about so much. I mean, Wings just said that, and he's done like 3,000 videos. He's like, I just have nothing left to talk about. And I don't blame him. You run out of topics after a while, and it's just topical things. Not everything is fun to talk about that's topical. You know, same thing for the podcast. Not every week has something amazing going on. And that's just how it is, you know? Call of Duty, that was my prime, but, well, at least on the YouTube scene it was. And it was fun at the time, but, man, I wish I had just started with Let's Plays. I think most Call of Duty channels would agree with that thing. Or made the switch to something, like if I had switched to Minecraft back when it first got picked up, who knows where I could be right now? Anyone. I mean, you could say that about anyone, though, because now it's just taken off to insane levels.
And it's like when you're a Call of Duty channel in the YouTube scene, you're tied to Call of Duty. That's the only game you are allowed to care about is Call of Duty. Playing Call of Duty, streaming Call of Duty now, because believe it or not, streaming was kind of an exclusive thing even, 2-3 years ago. It was
there was
video game streaming. Not many people doing it. A lot of people didn't understand the hardware. A lot of the hardware was just coming online. I mean, everybody had a Hauppauge HD PVR, but not many people had the wherewithal to actually make it work with a stream and make it.
You needed a Black Magic if you wanted to stream properly, which now no one even buys Black Magics really.
I still have one, but that's because I bought it. I was probably one of the last round of people to buy a Black Magic.
Yeah, I bought mine 2011 when Black Ops 2 came out because I wanted to get into streaming, and I tried the Hauppauge and it was just fucking awful. The screen because they didn't have any built-in stuff. Nowadays you can stream with the Hauppauge. It won't be that great, but it'll grab source. Back then, if you wanted to stream with it, you had to capture the screen.
Yeah, you had to open the preview software and then capture the screen region, and it was awful.
Those were the worst streams you could ever do back then. Now it's just insane. Like the standard now is webcam on your gameplay with preferably with an overlay on it, so it's not floating there. And it's getting to the point where, like, within maybe a year and a half, like green screens will be the new standard. Like nowadays, if I see a big streamer, he's got a green screen. People who start with green screens seem to go up. I don't know why, but that just is the standard. And before that, well, one, I don't have the space, but two, it doesn't always work with certain games. If you put your head in the bottom, it works, but that's the only place. You can't put yourself in the top.
No, I would put myself in the side or upside down. Could you imagine how funny that would be if you had a game where your face wouldn't be blocking or would be blocking something that people want to see on the bottom, and then you just put yourself upside down in the top? That'd be great. Or you're just hanging off the side, like playing the game. Everybody's spatial reasoning just gets all freaked out because they're like, wait a minute, like to him gravity is this way, he's just acting normally, but to me he's like
eating like this sideways. What if you did that, but you put yourself in the top left? Like in Minecraft, you need to because your important information is there. You don't want your stream to see it, so you usually block it out with a box. But if you're at a green screen, you can't really do that. But you have someone draw your body like a stand-up cutout, but without the neck up, and then you just put your green screen head right there and just hanging out.
What's on the top left-hand corner of Minecraft?
Well, if you're playing online, coordinates and stuff, so people know where you're located, so they can go there. So yeah, but
yeah, streaming did not used to be big at all. But when you were a Call of Duty channel, if you're a Call of Duty channel now, that's what you do, and you can do it really well. I mean, the competitive Call of Duty guys.
But that's the thing; they've taken over the Call of Duty streaming area. I would not, if I was still. I don't know. I mean, there's a couple like.
Let's see. What's the top? I want to look at the top streams right now. Please don't play audio. Please don't play audio. Okay, you're not playing audio.
Name? There's like Pub Stomper who's really, really good at pubs, and he can pull the numbers.
PwnStars.com?
PwnStars.com. That's him. He's the only one I see in there. There is no Joe Schmo Call of Duty guy. There's also another guy that I've known since I was streaming in 2011 who was nothing, but I think he stuck with it and kept going, and that dude pulls like 1,000 people now and has a sub button and a huge following, and which is a shame because that would show you where I would be with determination and willpower. and not take breaks.
Right.
But there's only like 2 people in the pub scene that make those numbers in Call of Duty streams nowadays.
Yeah, and the
unless like a new map comes out and they start streaming zombies or DLC or some shit, then it doesn't matter who the fuck you are, they'll watch.
Yeah, but so when you're a Call of Duty channel, it's kind of rough sometimes, especially if you become disenfranchised. If you're just like, this game is the same thing over and over, because there used to be a lot of Madden guys.
Right.
Before YouTube was huge like it is now, Madden pro players was like a thing. There were guys that made their living playing Madden. And a lot of those guys don't do that now because they realized, holy shit, this is just the same game over and over and over again. And it's not fun anymore. It's just not.
It's not fun.
It's not fun to be a bad Call of Duty channel. But
however, I would like to play some Madden.
You would like to play some Madden?
Yeah, Super Bowl's this weekend.
Oh, so you're just one of those guys that's like, oh, football's in now. I want to play football.
Yeah.
I'm
Madden's not that bad. It's like anything. I've played a couple matches. I've also never really understood the appeal to it compared to real football. Real football, things can change you have a playbook, but things change on the fly.
Right.
Madden, the game is always, here are the determined routes of the players. You have to time it and throw the ball that way. I'm like, okay. That's why I've never understood the versing. It's like, I know what that play that guy's running. I can't change my AI dudes to go this way. You can yell at them and they'll move on the streamline, but that's it.
Yeah, and Madden multiplayer got really bad when people figured out glitch blitzing. Oh my god, I hate it.
What was that?
Glitch blitzing was a way there would be a certain set of plays and a certain alignment, a pre-snap defensive alignment, where you would just make the AI blocking, the AI offensive line logic just collapse on itself, and nobody would get blocked. Nobody. The line would just go bloop, and nobody would get blocked. Everybody was on the quarterback, and that's called glitch blitzing. And that's what Pro Madden became, was just guys glitch blitzing each other.
That's retarded.
Like, there was like 1 or 2 plays that you could use to stop the glitch blitz, and that and that's it. But, I want to get back to streaming because, and streaming quality, because I remember I was one of those guys capturing screen region. It was bad. And then I built my PC and I got a Blackmagic, and I was like, oh, quality. That's what this is all about. This stream is in 1080p.
Yeah, you've been streaming for a while. Like when we first met, that's I met you in Black Ops 1. So, but I knew you were streaming. You were streaming in Black Ops 1. I'm fairly certain, at least towards the end of its life cycle.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
You only had a couple of viewers, but I remember that though because I wasn't streaming at that time, and you've come a long way.
Yeah,
come a long way.
I have come a long way. I remember when I would have 40 live viewers, and I was like, oh shit. I hit 75 once, and I was like, the first time I ever broke 100 concurrent viewers was when I was doing Modern Warfare 3 double XP giveaways.
Oh my god.
Double XP code giveaways.
He hoarded himself out for viewers.
I drank way more Mountain Dew than I ever should have. I felt so bad about myself. Although I found Diet Mountain Dew is not as bad as Mountain Dew. Like, I know Diet, it's got all this shit in it, but when you drink a lot of, like, when you have just a lot of Mountain Dew sitting around, trust me, you want Diet Mountain Dew, not the regular Mountain Dew. But if
the codes come with it, though, otherwise it's pointless.
Yeah, otherwise you're just killing
yourself
for no reason. But streaming quality is like it's like a bigger thing now, I think, and I hope it keeps becoming now.
It's just so it's everywhere where we were 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, the screen cap, that was very select groups of people and whatnot. And now anyone with a PS4 and Xbox One, hell, it's built natively into some graphics cards and shit like that. You can just stream whatever you want. You can just stream yourself. But now the gap has widened, and now if you want to stream at like 720, true 720p or 1080p, or you got a green screen, you are now in that group of people back in the day who had the actual Hopage and were screen capping it. Come a long way in a very short amount of time. And I don't know where we'll be in 2 years.
Well, I hope the next move in the streaming world is because, like, in my streams, like I said, this stream right now that you're watching is in 1080p. You're probably not getting everything out of it because I don't know what native resolution the image template is. My camera can do 1080p and is in 1080p, but Chiz is a screen region, which I mean, there's really nothing we can. Right. There's nothing we can do about that. I mean, that's just the way it is. But in my gaming streams, like I'm always trying to make things look better. I always want things to look sharper, to look crisper, to look like you're playing the game along with me. And I hope that a lot more people strive for that. Like, you know, the streamers I watch all the time, Eat My Diction, Gassy Mexican, Gold Glove, that whole crew, when I watch, I want to help. Like, I want to be like, oh, man, like, you know, you guys, a lot of you guys are on the West Coast, and you've got either business class internet or you've got FiOS. Like, turn up your bit rate. And I think I heard Eat My Diction once in a stream. He was talking about how he wants to up his bit rate, or he wants to make his streams look better, because when he rips them or when he chops them up and uploads them to YouTube, they don't work as well. And I wish I had that direct phone line. Like, all right, bro, I went through the same thing. Let me take you step by step on how to do this to make everything look better. And I hope that's the next move. I hope people start just doing that. Like, you know, everybody with a huge following now, 60 FPS becomes the norm, because if you're a PC gamer and you've got a beast PC, I want to see 60 frames per second.
Right.
Like, I want, or whatever source frame rate, you know. And I would like to see that, and I think I think your content would benefit from it. And I want to see high bitrate stuff. You know, I want to see you actually make use of the source feature that Twitch has. You know, no longer, you know, remember 720p plus or 480p plus.
Yeah.
But you know, make it so that you can watch on the high set quality, but if you watch in source, you better have the download to download the 6,000, 7,000 kilobits per second that I'm sending to you. Make it look, I don't want to say professional, but make it look, I would like to see
that you could.
Right. I want to see a strive, a move, a conscious move towards making everything look as crisp and as clean as possible.
If everyone's doing that and making their streams look the best that they can with PC and internet, it's mainly internet, but a lot of it comes to PC utilization as well, then two things need to happen on both ends. One, ISPs around the United States need to give you more. They'll start to see, all right, we're losing customers because this person wants to stream, so they went over to this guy because he has more bandwidth options over there. So they'll raise the upload so that people can do this service, and they'll increase the download, because on the other end you also have to still watch the stream. That's your download accepting that. So you need both ends to happen. A big reason they probably won't for a while is because, I mean, the reason you're getting fucked for the most part on the internet is because of Netflix, and they don't, like, they're all cable companies. You know, Comcast, they have a TV network and stuff like that. I don't think Time Warner does.
Time Warner provides cable, doesn't it?
Time Warner provides cable, so that means they also have a TV package, more than likely.
Yeah.
And same goes for like things like HBO, who have deals with Comcast and people like that. So the reason you don't get, like, they can flip a switch and give you 50 upload if they wanted to. They more than likely have that infrastructure in your area if you're in a metropolitan area.
They have fiber. We talked about it. We know they do.
There's fiber everywhere. You know, I was moving into a house maybe 6 years ago, and it was wired for fiber. There's no fiber there, but it's wired there. It's because Netflix. You know, that's how. If we had amazing internet, everyone would have Netflix, and they wouldn't get cable, which has already been happening for years. People just get Netflix and Hulu. That's $15 for TV, movies, and then whatever the fuck is on JTV, Twitch TV, and things like Ustream and YouTube. You don't even need. You can get your local news on the fucking website. I'm sure of it. That's really all it is nowadays, with the exception of HBO Go, which I think may be doing their own kind of platform like Netflix, I think, where you don't need an HBO subscription. There's no point in having standard cable anymore. So they throttle everyone so that they force you to buy those types of things. And because your Netflix experience would suck if you had 1.5 to 5.
And you know what's not helping it? Legislatures that are trying to stop municipalities from opening up competition with ISPs like Comcast. There is a bill before the Kansas legislature. Kansas City has Google Fiber. Kansas City, and I didn't notice, I thought it was Google that did all of it, but it was Kansas City who petitioned Google Google was looking to, I think, get into the fiber game, but they didn't just show up, like plop up in Kansas City like, hey, but Kansas City decided as a city, they're like, hey, we want to pull our own cable. We want to provide our own broadband internet so that we can provide fiber speed internet service to everybody we can. And Google was like, oh, man, we've got this project too. So, yeah. And then, boom, that's Google Fiber. But there's a bill before the Kansas legislature. This is a piece from the Consumerist. Quote, the Kansas legislature is currently considering a bill that would prohibit municipalities in that state from building out their own municipal broadband networks. Completely coincidentally, of course, we're sure Kansas City is home to the country's first Google Fiber municipal network. The bill, called the Municipal Communications Network and Private Telecommunications Investment Safeguards Act, has its stated goals to, 1, ensure that video, telecommunications, and broadband services are provided through fair competition in order to provide the widest possible diversity of sources of information, news, and entertainment to the general public. 2, encourage the development and widespread use of technological advances in providing video, telecommunications, and broadband services at competitive rates. 3, ensure that video, telecommunications, and broadband services are each provided within a consistent, comprehensive, and non-discriminatory federal, state, and local government framework. Now, here's the interesting part. This is, again, from another part of the bill. Quote, except with regard to unserved areas, a municipality may not, directly or indirectly, 1, offer to provide to one or more subscribers video, telecommunications, or broadband service, or 2, purchase, lease, construct, maintain, or operate any facility for the purposes of enabling a private business or entity to offer, provide, carry, or deliver video, telecommunications, or broadband services to one or more subscribers. So this is essentially Comcast or whatever the telecommunications, the telco giant that was in the area of Kansas City before,
right,
or Kansas, buying a bill, because the bill is supposedly about competition, except for municipalities.
Yeah, defeating the whole point.
That defeats the whole point. And yes, it is. Municipalities can afford to be ultra competitive in the marketplace because they're playing with house money. They've got taxpayers. Right? And in a private business, they just have investors and stuff. They've got capital, but it's not unlimited. But people live there, people pay taxes. They got a lot of money. And yes, that is going to be ultra competitive. I thought that's the whole point of capitalism. Is it not?
That's the whole point, and then people just abuse it.
Competitive. But
just let the free market roll. Just let it roll.
But it's. I mean, it's. I am traditionally against just completely blown open free markets, and I guess it may sound a little bit hypocritical to me to say, well, let the market decide, but it's hypocritical to me to say that your bill is all about fostering competition, but then saying here's a bunch of people who can't compete.
Yeah,
that to me tells me that whole thing about it actually being about competition is bullshit.
Yeah.
You just don't want municipalities, you, Time Warner Cable or Comcast or whatever's in Kansas predominantly, you don't want municipalities fucking you because you've been an oligopoly for so long. You've been a localized monopoly. I hate the term oligopoly because it kind of shades over the fact that no, there are monopolies at work here. There are anti-competitive businesses and practices at work here. It's just that they're localized to different areas, right? So Time Warner Cable on the East Coast isn't a monopoly per se because Comcast is in the Midwest or Comcast is elsewhere. Right. And there's maybe a few different local ISPs.
Well, it's the same thing for oil. You know, that's not an oligopoly. It's just a bunch of monopolies working together, you know.
And so it's good to see places like Comcast and Time Warner Cable and Cox Communications or whoever else finally get their comeuppance. And it's good to see, like, I hope this is a death spasm. I hope this bill, whoever tried to lobby for it, I don't know if it's Comcast or Time Warner, I hope it's just a death spasm, like, please give us something. Yeah. Please.
We have no business in this area. Right. Good.
How about you be competitive?
Not only are they giving amazing speeds, but they give free internet. Like basic cable package 1.5, you get that for free with Google. because they're like, fuck you. If everyone has internet, we'll keep making money because they're the fucking best. They're the #1 search engine. They have all the ads. They win.
And they have all the information to sell to people, to sell to advertisers.
I'm fine with that if you keep doing good, because you know what? You may sell a little bit on the side to advertisers and whatnot. Okay. But free internet. It's worth, I mean, you can catch them for that, but I mean, at the same time, Verizon and Comcast, they're doing the same fucking thing and they're still fucking you. It's just who's fucking you less, really.
Yeah, Verizon, offers fiber, but they don't offer you gigabit Ethernet speeds.
No, they give you 35 by 35, which
I'd
would be fucking awesome because you're probably paying $40 a month for that. But at the same time, $40 with Google, getting a gigabit.
And here's the thing, like the story I told last week and on PKA, it really is as simple as telling the system to open the floodgates for you. That's all it is. It's not an issue. It is not primarily an issue of creating the infrastructure. The infrastructure is there.
It's there. It's all copper.
Coax.
You get fiber.
Right. Coax, I mean, there are limits to what coax can do reliably, but it is nowhere near what you're getting. It is nowhere near. The limit of coax is nowhere near. Right. I mean, I was getting a lot of the upper tier residential internet classes end at about 50 and 10 download, or 50 download, 10 up. They can provide you much, 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 much more than that over the coax infrastructure. They just don't, because they've got you by the balls. Where are you going to go? This is what you're going to pay for. And it really is as simple. If you call and complain enough, it really is as simple as just telling the system, okay, open this floodgate or this spigot just a little bit more and let a little bit more data through on that big pipe. And that is completely unethical to me. I think that's very unethical. And the fact that they try to buy legislation like this is a very telling sign for me, and it's good. Let's go, Comcast.
Tiny ISPs. There are a bunch of tiny ones that do local fiber and stuff like that. Keep fighting. People are going to go to you.
Keep fighting.
Work out something. Be a subsidiary of Google. Work something out, man.
Hey, Comcast, I have an idea. How about instead of trying to legislate out your competition, be competitive?
Yeah.
If you indeed have a superior product that you believe you can bring to people reliably, well, let's see it. Put your damn cards on the table instead of trying to rig the game.
Which you don't.
They probably do. Comcast Business Class, their customer service has been fantastic. Comcast can do customer service well. They just don't want to.
On business.
Right, but
horrible residential.
You can hire the same people for residential. They just don't want to. Because you know what? Probably the guys that work Comcast Business who actually know the tech stuff.
They're getting paid more than.
Because when I would call Comcast Residential and try to get my IP changed, they had no idea what I was talking about. They were just like, "Oh, well, I'll send a refresh signal to your router." Like, no, that's not what it does. That's not what it does.
You're not helping. You're an asshole.
Yeah. So they could do that. They just don't want to. And so they can provide.
The only thing competitive they have going is if you were someone who still used a landline and cable for your TV. If you get one of their packages, yeah, you're only paying like $70 and you've got TV, you've got phone, you've got internet, but you have shit internet, very limited TV, and a landline, which doesn't matter anymore nowadays.
Yeah. And it's you know what? And on some level, you can kind of empathize with Comcast, right? Because they've been or companies like Comcast, not just Comcast, but I know Comcast, most people do.
Well, the #1 ISP.
They've been the top dog for so long in both cable provider and telecommunications and ISP.
Right.
That now they see, now they have on one end, they've got, little homebrew municipal fiber things popping up that are completely, and the word is out now because now everybody knows about Google Fiber. And now everybody wants Google Fiber.
So here's a question. Who do you think has more money, Netflix or Comcast, over the years that they've been around? Probably Comcast, right?
Comcast, yeah, probably.
Why not innovate? Don't hinder innovation just to stay around. Why not come out with your own There's all kinds of online platforms. Yeah, Netflix the best, but Hulu dominates TV, so they've got their own thing. What is it? I think FX or FXE, something like that. They bought the rights to all of the Simpsons episodes to distribute digitally. So they're coming out with their own platform, and they're like a network or a channel on cable TV. They're doing that. HBO Go is going to be more than likely not getting rid of, but straying away from, you have to have a cable provider to get their service. Xbox is doing one as well. Why not do that? Start bidding for contracts and things like that. Come up with original series. Work with fucking directors and shit like that. You have the money to do this. If you did that and then started being competitive in the ISP market, you could stay around and perhaps beat Netflix, because Netflix is just the platform. They're not the ISP. If you couple that together, like, hey, buy our 100 by 100 ISP package, we'll give you a subscription to our digital distribution center of movies and television shows. Why not do that? You could. You have the money. It's not a lack of that. It's a lack of being a dick and setting your ways and earning your money the same way you always have, by hindering innovation.
Because they would have to spend more. They would have to spend more.
Yeah.
Which means profits would go down. Profits wouldn't go away. Profits would just go down.
They would go down. But then you have to look at the long-term game, which I'm sure someone at Comcast has, like, what are we looking at in 30 to 40 years? Where are we going to sustain and make more money? Are we going to just keep fucking with people and hope the old formula since like 1990 will keep driving our money and customers? Or, hey, we're losing people. Should we innovate and do this and we'll be good for the foreseeable future? Assholes.
I think they're banking on people not knowing enough about the internet to want fiber speeds, to want gigabit Ethernet.
For now, but it's also like that in legislation when it comes to things like, I forget all the bills, but PIPA and stuff like that. Those people are going to die soon. The people that don't know what Netflix are going to die soon. It's just, we're growing up with Netflix, Hulu, Gamefly, shit like that. Digital media, streamed instantly. All the consoles do it. So how long is it going to take them to start getting their shit together? Or just go away? I'm all for that if you just go away. Let Google do their thing. They're taking their time with it, but hopefully within 10 years, 5 years, Google will be in some big hubs. Chicago. I mean, the way they do it, though, like you said, Kansas rallied for Google to come to them, and they did it. I don't know if I saw it for the Austin one or the one after Austin, but it was like, if you really want Google to come here, you need to pay this much or like donate this much, or it was something like that, like prove or just share, like maybe it was a vote thing, like you have to get people in your area to vote for this, which if you're in bumfuck which I don't know how Kansas did. I mean, no shit to Kansas, but you are kind of in bumfuck nowhere.
Well, they're in Kansas City though. Kansas City is bigger than most other things in Kansas, I think.
Yeah,
Kansas City is
a lot of wheat farms. So which is why Austin won. They're a huge city, they're a college town city, and that's why they won. Like something like Chicago, San Francisco, I feel like they should be able to pull those kind of numbers to get Google in that area. And if Google went somewhere big, like, I mean, Austin's huge, but if you went somewhere really big like San Francisco, New York, or Chicago, then you would really start to scare the cable providers, because those are huge markets.
Yeah, that'd be
huge.
That'd be very nice. Can we talk about Justin Bieber before we wrap up the hour-long show?
He fucked up again.
Well, he fucked up like a month ago. About a month ago. Justin Bieber was, turned himself into a Toronto police station and is facing a charge of assault. But it's weird because misdemeanor. It is the equivalent in Canadian law of a misdemeanor assault in American criminal law. So he's facing misdemeanor assault charges for allegedly as somebody in his entourage. He was involved in a group of people that hired a limousine driver, and on December 29th of 2013, they were getting rowdy, and somebody reportedly or allegedly started punching the driver in the back of the head, and the driver immediately got out and called police. And so today, as of this recording, Justin Bieber was asked and obliged. He turned himself in, and I believe is out. I don't know how the Canadian legal system. I guess whatever their version of bail is, probably not much for a misdemeanor charge. But he is going to be arraigned, I believe, sometime in March on those charges. He's gonna. So Justin Bieber now facing charges in 2 places, Florida or Miami, and now Toronto. And as a result, the White House is going to have to answer because of a petition on whitehouse.gov on the issue of deporting Justin Bieber.
Please do. That'd be awesome. We just don't need him here.
It's just going to be funny to have
it's a government
the embodiment of the government, the White House. It's where the president lives, and his people that are affiliated almost directly with him are going to have to speak on the deportation of a single person that a lot of the internet doesn't like.
Mm-hmm. Of a celebrity. Mm-hmm. That'll be good.
That'll be.
Why you gotta be a little shit? Don't
be a little shit.
Did everything. You don't stay away from that. She didn't beat anybody as far as I know, but she was an alcoholic, drunk driving mess and did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
But she didn't beat anybody, you know. Assault's kind of serious. Especially if you're punching a driver in the back of a head. You're doing a lot of bad things at once. You never fuck with a driver in a car. You don't punch anyone in the back of the head. That's bad. All right, that's where your occipital lobe is. That's where you see shit.
Oh, Beebs.
And this person is driving, so sight, important, and motor function. Why? It's not cool. You know what's cool? Having $500 million and a bunch of #1 records. That is cool.
Just go bang 18-year-old teenagers until you're 40.
Just go buy something.
Just go buy things, live in your house, and bang hot 18-year-old chicks.
You could throw the best giveaway in giveaway history if you want. You could
give away so many Xbox Live cards.
You would beat
PlayStation Network
giveaways. You could buy everyone's got a new BMW. Everyone's got a new Ferrari. Go race them on my drag strip because I closed down the street
with my black SUVs. That's what I did. One thing I want to ask, we got a couple minutes left. I saw Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is more like amorphous in his podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
They do a show. He tries to do a show every week, but isn't opposed to doing multiple shows and does a lot of shows on the fly. I don't think the Joe Rogan Experience has a set time and date that they do a show, do they?
I don't think so.
It just kind of happens. He's like, I try to do it once a week, and if it happens, it happens, and it shows up. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's anything to that. Like, is that... Do you think it's he's trying something new that a lot of people are down with, or is it he's not getting enough out of what the Joe Rogan Experience? He's not getting the maximum of what the Joe Rogan Experience could be.
I think it's the latter. Like, I don't think people are for that. They like concrete set schedule things. That's been instilled into people since watching television shows. Like, all right, at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, my show comes on. Like, if I'm a fan of something, I want more of it, and I want to know it's there. If I find out it's not there, I'm kind of upset. Like, I haven't listened to it in months, but the Adam Carolla podcast, that's a daily hour-and-a-half podcast, and it's just mainly topical, and they have a guest on for maybe 20 minutes or whatever, but it's always great. And he's been doing that. I mean, he's like the king of podcasts is Adam Carolla. He's got like 6 of them. One of your favorites is under that. Well, not all of them feature him, but they're under his umbrella network.
One of my favorites? What's my favorite?
His Teller's podcast is under the umbrella of Adam Carolla.
Oh, Penn Sunday School?
Right, that's under there as well.
I should really start listening to Penn Sunday School.
Yeah, I haven't listened to, besides the Rooster Teeth one and PK, I haven't listened to any of the ones I was really addicted to from. I just don't have time. Like Christopher Titus podcast, Adam Carolla podcast. I was listening to those religiously over the summer. Because there wasn't anything going on in the summer.
I wonder if there... I don't know how guys do, like... If you're doing a podcast and you're not doing like a caller-driven, listener-viewer-driven show, how do you do so many multiple shows a week? Adam Carolla one every single day. What do you talk about? Like,
and a lot of it, he just brings up life experience or story. A lot of these people go out and do shit. You and I
was playing a video game the other day, and here's what happened.
There's not a lot of human interaction. If something does, trust me, I'll write it down and fucking talk about it more than likely. But life experience translates well to when you're telling a story. But we just don't get out and do shit. So it's mainly whatever we want to talk about or in the mood talking about, and that's how we roll.
I like
Thursdays.
playing video games.
The sun's outside. Sun is bad.
Yeah. So we need to figure out what we're going to do for episode 30 next week.
Yep. Give us suggestions in the comment section of this video on what we should do for episode 30.
Get Hutch back.
We could try that. Simple tweet if he's even on Twitter. I mean, he hasn't uploaded in a month, but don't bank on anything you suggest.
Don't bank on that. Don't bank on getting Hutch back or anything like, oh my God, Hutch is going to come back. I haven't talked to Hutch probably since
that time.
Since the last episode
5 or something.
Yeah, whatever it was.
That's many weeks ago, many months ago.
No, I think he tweeted me something. He tweeted me about something one night, but that was it. It was just a tweet. We haven't talked. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We still haven't gotten a response from Penn Jillette, which I'm pissed about.
That's fucking annoying. God, you're not too good for this show.
No.
Don't act like you are.
We could probably get a Rooster Teeth guy on the show before Penn Jillette, and that's bullshit.
Right? And do you know how fucking awesome they are? I mean, Penn Jillette, you do your magic thing, you got your podcast and your books, but the Rooster Teeth guy's got a lot of shows, and they do a video a day. Fucking incredible.
And they just open channels, and they immediately get to 700,000 subscribers. And
I think that one's at 2 point something.
Let's Play is? God damn it.
Well,
that is so infuriating. That
you know you're good when you get a 2-to-1 view ratio on some videos.
Oh, a 2-to-1 subscriber count?
Yeah. Like their Minecraft ones that go up only on Fridays, those probably all break 1 million views.
Jesus. That's like not
That's
even
why they
fair.
had to go to their own channel. The shit was taking over the main channel.
That's ridiculous. Stop taking over YouTube. Stop. That's not even fair.
And have anyone on if you're watching and you're from Rooster Teeth.
We'll have, I guess, Chisel.
Well, let me do the vetting process, okay? It depends who you are. I know the people there, and they also know me apparently. So that's the thing.
One guy knows you.
That's all I need. That's my foot.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth guys come on the show. Free blowjobs from Chiz. You got him. He will service you.
Tickle your sack.
Or that there's a chick, right? Yeah, she probably gets a lot of that. I'm not going to go there.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, that would be inappropriate. Well, did you see that? I attacked one of his idols, apparently. But, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, in this sense, you would be the one performing oral sex on her. So.
I wouldn't do that, just for the record, if anyone's listening. I respect all of you higher than I respect myself.
He respects you so much that he's scared to be around you.
I won't. You'll walk right by me in a hall, and I will stare and go, "Did you say something?" No. Oh. Okay, he's gone. Okay. Wonder where he's going. Follow him.
Man, what should I have said to him? What would I have said if he said hi to me? What if I see him in the bathroom or like...
I'll play out this scenario in my head the way I want it to.
For the rest of my time here, every day in the shower.
I'll never talk, so...
What could happen? Well, see, I'd at least say hi to Eat My Diction. Hey, Diction, what's up? Hi, Gassy Mexican. How you doing? What's up?
And nothing to take away from... I feel like it's different. Nothing to take away from Diction, though. I don't know how many subs Diction's at. Maybe like 600,000, something like that.
I don't think it's that much, is it?
Okay, so 400, let's say. But he's not at the level of notoriety. I mean, global notoriety like they are. Like, you know, their main channel 7 million. The other one 2-something million. Their podcast gets millions. Pretty high up there. So for me, I feel like I'm just one out of like 10 million schmucks. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels kind of weird. Like, he's probably heard this a bunch. I'm not going to fanboy over him. I mean, they have their own convention.
Mm-hmm. Diction is at 521,000 subscribers. Holy fucking shit!
Yeah, dude's legit. Been around for years.
I remember he was in when the DayZ mod. His videos introduced me to the DayZ mod. When he was first playing that, him and Utorak were racing to 100K. That was a year and a half ago.
A year ago or something, yeah.
And now he's at that was about a year and a half ago. Year and 4 months or so.
It's what they say, man. Like once you hit that. Remember, that's the rule. Once you hit 100K, like, it just snowballs for some people.
Well, for me, I'm a couple thousand away from 100K. Let's go. Hit the subscribe button, everybody. Yeah, you and me,
I'll race you. Let's go.
YouTube.com/DrCoffeeMD.
Where you'll see all the latest and greatest things from 2 months ago.
Yeah, subscribe to me, 100K. So I can be like Eat My Diction.
A helicopter going by.
Yeah, we can maybe... I don't know. Yeah, we could... let us know. Recruit people on your own. Everybody go out to your favorite.
Just go start tweeting people that you think would be cool that should be on episode 30.
We don't
do that.
We don't even want to know. Just be like, hey, you should be on PK.
If it was
or not even PK. That's not what I called. Fuck.
That's not what you called. God damn it, you fuck.
So I confused the endless blah 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 for PKA questions with just sending other people out and doing the recruiting for us. Go tweet Eat My Diction, everybody. Rooster Teeth.
If you get him, we could do like a drunk episode.
Yeah, we could. We could all get wasted.
If you get a guest that likes alcohol, then that's good for 30.
Yeah, that's good. We could do like an hour.
Just start tweeting people. I want to see a bunch of random people. Put Barack Obama in there, if you will. Love to have him on.
Yeah, I'd love to have Barack.
As long as he tweets it out with the NSA's Twitter account. It's published globally.
Mm-hmm.
Hate you.
You hate who?
NSA.
Oh, you're back to hating me for some reason. So yeah, tweet some people about being on the show. We gotta go. That's gonna wrap it for episode 29. Thank you to everybody for coming out. 1080p stream, maybe something later. I'm not sure, but Chiz and I are gonna go back to fighting, I think. So thank you guys for joining. Hit the follow button if you're on Twitch. You'll be notified every time I start live stream. You can also subscribe for $4.99 if you want to help out the cause that is Lefty or the show that is That's Not Why You Called. You can donate as well. Scroll down below the video player. There's a little screen and a little image you can click on and donate if you want to help us get towards some place where we could maybe host the podcast and point it on iTunes. Subscribe, youtube.com/LeftyOX, march to 100,000 subscribers. Twitch.tv/Dr. Chiz, all the latest and greatest Minecraft from woodycraft.net to be found there. Tweet out your favorite people, get them on the show. Let's get a guest for episode 30 or something. We'll see. I don't know what to do. Hutch, Return of Hutch, Eat My Diction, Rooster Teeth. What would happen if we got them all?
All of them, fuck it.
At the same time, drunken. Well, Hutch wouldn't be drunk, but you get the idea. He would something else. And every inebriated Rooster Teeth. Everybody would be awesome.
Just one big happy family.
One big happy family of everybody being just ridiculous. All right, thank you guys for joining. We hope you enjoyed. We are out. Peace.
P6.
I'm fighting with you.
Was compared to zombies, and there was a little convo. So I guess that, and then I just try to help people with streaming and stuff. So I guess that's how he knows me. I was shocked because that wasn't the first time he said who I knew. He knew who I was. It was when he first streamed. He's like, "Shout out Dr. Chiz, know who you are." Yep, streaming guy. He also streams, which means he knows that I have a channel and I stream.
Cool.
Which was fucking incredible. And then he modded me.
That's cool.
Fanboy.
Yeah, and there was an instant fangasm on Twitter. So I immediately went to talk to Chiz, and I was like, "You accuse me, like you give me shit for fangirling about Eat My Diction and that whole crew when you can't even contain yourself on Twitter when one of the Rooster Teeth guys references you directly." And I said, "That's it, we're fighting because it's bullshit."
I lost my shit.
Even though I went into Eat My Diction stream, and apparently he knows me of me somehow as well, and he was like, "Oh, that's Lefty. Let me give you mod." And I'm a mod now, so I can ban people in Diction streams. So behave yourselves, motherfuckers.
I think until you're physically avoiding the people you're fans of, I think I'm gonna take this one from you. It's really bad.
I think that's one I'll let you win. I think that's one that I'm okay with letting.
I don't want to fuck anything up. I love them, like not to the creepy like I want to fuck them kind of thing, but I respect them so much. Their content always funny, and I like everything. They're a 40-person company.
Everything they touch turns to gold too.
Yeah, and there's like they have, their Let's Plays are hilarious. They have series like an animated one like Ruby. They have Red versus Blue. Their podcast, I love their podcast. It's funny. I watch it every week. There's a reason they're the #1 in gaming on iTunes and have won awards because it's fucking good. Mm-hmm. All of it.
We're still coming for them though.
We're still coming for them. They're getting out of the gaming category. So
they are.
They're going to general on iTunes.
That's probably a smart move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been in gaming top 1 since they've started, which is like 4 years or 5 years of podcasting or something like that. Like they're at episode 200, ridiculous, 260 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've been doing it a while. So now that they're going to general, where it's going to be a little harder for them to get #1, we're coming for you, and we're going for gaming.
We're going for gaming. Well, I mean, we're not really because we don't have the money to pay for the the bandwidth to host a podcast and then point iTunes at it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll rebrand the show with Mickey Mouse, because then eventually Mickey Mouse will be in the public domain. But yeah, I'd have Diction on the show. Probably. You see, again, like, what do we do with guests? I don't know. Like, Diction's a funny guy, a really funny guy, but I mean, does he want to talk about some of the things that we talk about? I mean, does he even want to, right? That would kind of be like, Diction, what are your thoughts on minimum wage? Input now.
True.
And then just put him on the spot, like, because I think that's why some of the PKA guests get a bad rap.
That's also why I wouldn't bring someone like Ray on for this, because he's hilarious and he's fun and a cool dude. But those aren't his, I wouldn't say strong points, but he probably wouldn't want to engage in that kind of a conversation. But other people on the Rooster Teeth podcast, they talk about any topic under the sun and things that are current, so they would be good as well. Diction, I don't know. He doesn't really get into that kind of content in his streams or his YouTube or his Twitter. No. It's usually just comedy. There's nothing wrong with that. Just that's not We wouldn't interview Jessica Negri either, or have her on either. She's a cosplayer. It's just different groups of people.
But I mean, have him on for a short bit to talk about gaming stuff or games we're excited about, talk about movies.
Yep, movies.
But an entire show. I mean, you guys would talk about movies. You guys are more big movie buffs than
I saw Escape Plan. That is the most recent movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stone.
Real? Why did you see that?
It wasn't that bad. It was maybe a C movie or B movie. Wait, I say not that bad. You have to, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
For a Sly movie, it's a B? For a Sly movie, it's a B?
It's a B. It's better than The Expendables, which is just over-the-top ridiculous. That's a fuck-up movie.
Right, but it's supposed to be that way, isn't it? That's the whole idea behind it. Like, it's just a stupid popcorn.
It's not that bad. It's pretty good. I like that. Oh, they also had.
I still don't get. I saw in the preview when they show Sly Stallone in prison. It's like, what do you do? And Sly's like, I bring out of prisons for a living.
Bring out of prisons. That's what he does. He's a security company. He owns like the best security. He's written the manual like that everyone knows about keeping your prisons like breakout proof. So he goes in as a prison inmate, and they don't know, and then he figures out a way to break it to show the security flaws and whatnot. And the thing is, this is some super CIA, like, Guantanamo type place, and he's...
Welcome to That's Not Why He Called, episode 29. 9? Should I say that? Wow. Episode 29?
Let's calm down with the rally, okay? Just started.
Does that seem... Is that a little bit too close to home? Welcome to That's Not Why He Called, episode 29. Hello, chat and Twitch, and hello, YouTube. Hello to everybody. We are here again. I am your host, Lefty, and across the way is Chiz. We started off the show facing away from each other because we are in a fight, Chiz and I. We are in disagreement over who fangirls more over bigger /YouTubers /Twitch streamers.
This will be a fun conversation then.
Why?
I didn't know we were going to do a conversation on it.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay. I thought about it the minute I saw you cream your pants on Twitter about getting mod in oh, God, what's his name? I forget his name.
Ray from Achievement Hunter, a.k.a. Rooster Teeth Brown Man on Twitter. Here's how bad I am. They're the only group of people that I can't, like, lower my shit down and just because I can kind of, like I was in the stream chat, and start fanboying. They're so bad. I've gone to so many PAXs, conventions, and whatnot, and they have a booth there all the time. I've never once walked up there, said anything, bought anything, done any of that. I have, however, walked on the hall, looked at the booth, and went, God, they're awesome. And I'm just too scared to go there. I've been in areas their booth isn't at, like an Xbox One, and I'll see two of them walking right by me, and I'll go, I should say something. No, I shouldn't. I'll say something stupid. That's how bad it is. I had an exhibitor badge. I was working one of the cons, so it's not open to anyone after a certain time, so it's just people that work there. So I was walking around, found their booth, tweeted out a picture of their booth with no one there, and said, you guys are awesome, or something. I said something, like, you guys are so cool. Wish I could see you, but I'm too busy working. And tweeted it out. No one there, just their booth with their shit. That's how bad it is. And the fact that he knows who I am is incredible.
That is pretty cool. And he said that you were his inspiration for streaming. How'd that come about?
He would tweet out things like he was playing or he wanted to do this, and I was like, you should stream it. I think it'd be good if you would stream it. And I tweeted him a couple times, went back and forth on some things. Like I asked, like, do you like the extinction mode, I think it is, and go recruited to go there, and it turns out they want to actually keep him there so that way it shows, hey, our prison can't be broken out of, keep funding us. And then he still breaks out of prison with the help of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice. We should go see that. Speaking of a Guantanamo-like thing.
Spoiler alert.
Speaking of a Guantanamo thing, President Barack Obama in his State of the Union address, which was this week, talked about closing Guantanamo Bay.
Again.
And I
had to put that there because it's not the first time he's brought it up.
We talked about this before, Barack B-man. We had this discussion. That whole 2008 change.
It was the biggest thing. It was one of the bigger things on your
right
campaign was closing Guantanamo and getting us out of 2 wars.
Right. Like this is going to happen. First day in office, I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna nitty gritty close Guantanamo. All these horrible things are gonna go away. Here we are, the State of the Union, going into your second term, and it's
6 years.
And it's like, we should probably close that. Duh! What?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something, but he's the commander-in-chief. He is the supreme allied command. Or command authority, whatever. Well, no, yeah, he is allied command. But he is the command authority of the military. And
correct.
Guantanamo Bay is a military installation, is it not? And it's a military prison.
Yep.
So could not the commander-in-chief, does he not have he doesn't have to go to Congress. He doesn't have to do anything. He could say, this is closed right now.
Right. But then what do you do on those inmates?
Again, but that's another problem. That's a separate issue. The whole, we should close this. No, we don't do it. No, you have the power and the authority to call up somebody and say, this is closed, effective immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Buy, click, and you haven't done it. So why? And people clapped, and people were like, "Yay!"
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. It's like, he said this 6 years ago, and he's had 6 years to do it,
and he hasn't done it. He's like,
but maybe he actually will. It's second term
because it does get kind of pricey. What is it like?
Storage.
What is it like? $100 a month for unlimited bandwidth?
Something like that. But even if we wanted to they don't give you a lot. And if you even do just a weekly podcast, opposed to like some people who do like 2 to 3, or some people who even do daily podcasts for like an hour, there's not a lot of bandwidth most of the regular hosting providers give you to point your shit to iTunes. Which is probably why there's not as many. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts on iTunes, but there's a lot of podcasts, period.
Right. Well, when Hutch was part of the show, because there's no secret that the show did a lot better view-wise and viewer-wise when Hutch was Hutch was pulling the train in terms of viewer base, in terms of people that he can direct to a show. Right? I mean, that's
first, yeah.
But I mean, that's just the thing. He had however many he has more followers on Twitter than I do on YouTube, than I do subscribers on YouTube, and then probably both of us combined on YouTube, right? So I mean, it's no doubt, and there's no shame in it. It's just it is the way it is, and that's not why you call it was rocking and rolling. We were doing about 25,000 views an episode, and that's not counting live stream viewers, and so that was when we could. At that point, we could seriously, if we could sustain that and grow on it, we would have been in a position to seriously consider buying enough bandwidth on a server somewhere or whatever.
We looked at it.
Provider, to host the show and then have it on iTunes, because not only do you have to pay for the spot for the storage space, you have to pay for the bandwidth to that storage space for your show.
Clicks.
So it's a little bit counterintuitive, but the more popular your show is, the more expensive it is to put it on iTunes.
Right.
And so, we were about where we were when we first started That's Not Why You Called and moved away from the Lefty Show. If we could have sustained that, it would be on iTunes. But now we gotta continue going, and we're still. I mean, we're growing.
We're growing.
I'm almost at 100K subs, so that's cool. Can't wait for that. But
show gets good views on YouTube.
It does. It does, and it monetizes very well apparently.
Well, that's fucking awesome. So maybe one day we will venture into that category. 2015 will take everyone on.
2015, the show will be in its 4th year, right? Technically 4th year. Yeah,
technically yeah.
4th year. 2015. Yeah.